Chapter 1. An Approach Towards the Past. Knowledge that is gained from the study of past is called history. It teaches us great lessons. It guides us what to do and what not to do. History also informs us about our rich past, how people lived, what they ate, what they wore, and what types of houses they built. We know that the present cannot be understood without understanding our past. The people who describe the past are known as historians. Importance of history. The study of history is important in many ways. We come to know about kingdoms, dynasties, kings, and leaders by studying history. It also deals with the lives and activities of ordinary people who have shaped the pages of history. The knowledge gained from the study of history is important to understand both the past and the present. Whatever is happening today will be history tomorrow. Each one of us is adding something big or small to our history, our family's history, and our country's history. History guides people to set goals and tells them not to make the same mistakes. We understand the continuous development of human beings by studying history. It includes the study of literature, religion, art, and architecture. We can easily understand the basic nature of our society by studying history. We study why people behaved the way they did, how and why they fought or cooperated or built forts. Wonderful to know. Herodotus was a Greek historian who was born in Halicarnassus, Caria, present-day Bodrum, Turkey, and lived in the 5th century BC, circa 484 to 425 BC. He is known as the father of history. He gave the term history. The word history comes from the Greek word historia, which means knowing and learning by inquiry. Division of the past. The past has been divided by historians into two periods, prehistory and history. Prehistory. It is the period of human development when writing had not been invented and human beings did not know how to read and write. Hence, there are no written records for this period. We can know prehistory only through archaeology. To understand prehistory, archaeologists dig deep into the ground and collect remains of the past. These archaeological remains like tools, coins, bones, pots, and jewelry help us to know about the past. History. It is the period for which written records are available. This covers the time period after the invention of writing. Early writing was done on the barks of birch trees, clay tablets, palm leaves, copper plates, and rock pillars. Sources of history. The difficult question now is how we can know about something that took place thousands of years ago. A very simple answer to this difficult question is that we learn about the past from the remains which people of that period have left behind. By studying these remains, archaeologists and historians tell us what might have happened in the past. Sources of history. Archaeological, non-written, artifacts, monuments, coins, inscriptions. Literary, written, religious literature, secular literature. Sources of history are divided into two broad groups: archaeological sources, literary sources. Archaeological sources. Archaeological sources are direct evidences. They have a significant effect on the writing of history. They cannot be changed or altered by human beings. They are physical evidences that are available. Artifacts. The objects of different kinds made by humans in the past are called artifacts. For example, things like metal objects, pottery, tools, ornaments, jewelry, weapons, and sculptures. They give us important clues and help us in understanding the cultural life of the past. The objects found at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro throw light on the developmental aspect of that age. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro are 4,000 years old cities along the banks of river Indus. Monuments. Old buildings, ruins of old buildings, temples, stupas, mosques, tombs, caves, palaces and old settlements which are historically important and provide important information of our past heritage are called monuments. The archaeological excavations at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, Kot Diji, Ropar, Mehergarh and several other sites have proved that a planned civilization existed in the Indus Valley 5,000 years ago. The ruins of Nalanda in Bihar reveal the ancient, contemporary system of education. Coins. Coins are valuable sources of information. These coins are made of gold, silver, copper, and other metals. They tell us about the economy of the kingdom, the periods of rulers, and trade activities with other regions. Inscriptions. Inscriptions are written records engraved on rocks, metal pillars, copper plates, cave walls, walls of temples and palaces, and on clay tablets. Inscriptions provide us important information about events, rulings, and declarations of ancient rulers. Inscriptions also deal with the administration and the personal qualities of the kings. They also provide us with important dates of coronation, specimens of art and relation with neighboring and distant rulers. Literary sources. Whatever our ancestors wrote is an evidence in the form of written records. These are literary sources. In the beginning, when paper was not invented, people of that period used to write on bhojpatra, the dried bark of trees. They also wrote on solid rock stone, copper plates, rock pillars and tablets. It is from these records our history is made as we know it today. Handwritten records of the past in the form of books are called manuscripts. These accounts of contemporary events help us in knowing our past and provide us information about customs, religious beliefs, and cultures of people. Wonderful to know! Some scientific techniques used to date things found in excavations. Radiocarbon, carbon-14. This technique is used to date organic matters, example, bones. Thermoluminescence dating. This technique is used to date pottery. Literary sources may be divided into two groups. Religious literature. Writing that deals with religion is called religious literature. The Vedas, the Aryanas, the Brahmans, the Upanishads, Tripitaka, Dipavamsa, Mahavamsa and Jataka are all religious books of the subcontinent. These give us important information about ancient India. Secular literature. Writings which are not religious are known as secular literature. These include the historical accounts and biographies written by poets and foreign travelers. They were written to record happenings, events, administrative setup, rules and declarations by the kings. The Arthashastra written by Kautilya, on how to run the government, gives us information about the Mauryan administration and contemporary society. Travelers' accounts are also included in the secular literature. A number of foreign travelers who visited India from time to time left very important social and political accounts of the country in their travelogues. Megasthenes lived in India for some time as the Greek ambassador at the court of Chandragupta Maurya. He wrote the Indica. Wonderful to know. Epigraphy is the study of inscriptions or epigraphs as writing. It is the science of identifying scripts, clarifying their meanings, classifying their uses according to date and cultural context. A person using the method of epigraphy is called an epigrapher or epigraphist. Geographical impact. The geography of a country plays a major role in its history. Similarly, the geographical features of India have greatly influenced its people and their history. Even the name of the country India has its origin in its geography. The Iranians and Greeks called river Indus as Hindos or Indos, and so the land to the east of the river was called India. The physical features of India that have shaped Indian history are the Great Himalayas. The Himalayas in the north of India are very high, so they work as a natural barrier for invaders from the north. Hence, very few invasions have taken place from this side. Low-lying passes such as the Khyber, Tirchi, the Kunlun, the Gomal and the Bolan in the northwest were comparatively easy passages for the invaders to enter India. The Northern Plains. The Northern Plains have determined the development of India. The places along the rivers have developed faster than any other part of the country. Rivers were the main mode of travel. They provided the important resource of water and made the areas around them highly fertile. As a result, agriculture became prosperous near the banks of the rivers and even trade could easily flourish near the rivers. Some important rivers of North India are Beas, Ganga, Yamuna and Indus. The Deccan Plateau. The Deccan had always been a very strong and powerful military base, so it was not easy for mighty powers of the north to win and control Deccan for a long time. Coastal plains. The coastal plains of India were isolated by land. They were open to the sea to establish commercial relations with the European, Southeast Asian and African countries. Interestingly, the first Muslim and Christian traders reached Kerala by the sea. The concept of dates in history. As we all know, we calculate our days and nights through a proper system of dates and years. We take the year of birth of Jesus Christ as 0. The left side of the given timeline on page 11 represents the years before Christ was born and is called BC, before Christ. For example, 50 years before Christ is written as 50 BC. All dates before the birth of Christ are counted backwards. For example, 300 BC will come first and 400 BC will come later. On the other hand, anything that happened in the years after the birth of Jesus Christ are expressed in AD. Anno Domini means in the year of the Lord. Many historians now use the terms BCE and CE. CE stands for Common Era and BCE stands for Before Common Era. This is called Common Era because Most countries of the world now use this. India started using this form of dating about 200 years ago. In other parts of the world during that time, cities began to develop in the Indian subcontinent around 2500 BC. It was also during this time that human settlements emerged in the Nile Valley in Egypt. An inscribed stone was found in Rosetta, a town on the north coast of Egypt that contained inscriptions in 3 different languages and scripts, 1 Greek and 2 Egyptian.